have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. Almighty God, tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. Almighty God, tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. Almighty God, tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. Almighty God, tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. Almighty God, tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. Almighty God, tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. Almighty God, tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. Almighty God, tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it.
Granted, but gratitude is a must.
Now, yes. Protect I and I from the trap set for me. Into your hands I submit my spirit. Almighty, deliver me. Yes, deliver me. Cause despite the struggles and fight, I smile, everything is alright. I say, thanks for life. Almighty God, thanks for life. May piece of shoes that fit in me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say, thanks for life. Almighty God, tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Yes, I said, oh yes, oh yes. Too blessed to be stressed. Once my circle positive, then I man could care less. I said, oh yes, oh yes. Most I get the praise for guiding me through the darkest night and my shiny days. So when I rise up and start yawning, yes, I have to praise thee. I man have to praise thee for my friends and my family and my loved one who never left by my side. Yes, I have to praise thee. Cause despite the struggles and fight, I smile, everything is alright. I say, thanks for life. Almighty God, thanks for life. May piece of shoes that fit in me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say, thanks for life. Almighty God, tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Tell them I'm born to make it. I have to make it. I'm born to make it. I must make it. Yes, I said, oh yes, oh yes. I'm so grateful. Cause even though it's a travel walk, the kids have to go to school. I said, oh yes, happy and content. Don't matter how small it is, I still have to pay the rent. So when I rise up and start yawning, yes, I have to praise thee. I man have to praise thee for my friends and my family and my loved one and never left by my side. Yes, I have to praise thee. Cause despite the struggles and fights, I smile, everything is alright. I say thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for life. Maybe it's a shoes that fitting me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for tell them I want to make it, I have to make it, I'm bound to make it, I must make it. Tell them I'm bound to make it, I have to make it, I'm bound to make it, I must make it. Cause despite the struggles and fight, I smile, everything is alright. I say thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for life. Maybe it's a shoes that fit in me tight, but I go mash up a party tonight. I say thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for life. Tell them I'm bound to make it, I have to make it, I'm bound to make it, I must make it. Tell them I'm bound to make it, I have to make it, I'm bound to make it, I must make it. Yeah, yeah. Now, yeah.
Gratitude is a must. Yeah. If it's one thing I'm most grateful for, it's life. Knowing where I came from and knowing where I'm at today. The simple things in life that matters. Most time people take life for granted, but gratitude is a must.
Now, yes. Protect I and I from the trap set for me. Into your hands I submit my spirit, Almighty deliver me. Yes, deliver me.
Yeah, deliver me. Somebody say deliver me.
I smile, everything is
Thanks for life. Oh, if I could sing like that guy, boy. Thanks for Thanks for. Hey, Tara, you had to come and give me something there now. Tara, we had to do something about that. You understand? Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us and waiting here. You know how we do it. And we always have someone great to talk to. Today we have, I can't tell you now. You're going to figure it out. But this is how we do. We look at the people who what you say, make magic, break the airways, the creative arts, the performing arts, the you name the field that shows your innovation, your ability to use the arts beyond expectation. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, today I'm going to talk to somebody and I'm going to throw some serious questions, and I know he's ready to talk. If not, I'm going to be doing all the talking, but I know that man could talk more than me. Right? So for all of you who are waiting there, please, you could share and let your friends know. I'm going to talk to one of the grandmasters, a young grandmaster in Grenada. Yeah? All you know that? A young grandmaster in Grenada. In his field. So, are you ready to see him? All you want to see his face. Yeah, I ain't going to keep him backstage any longer. So I'll make sure he's there so I could bring him on and then we're going to chat. And when I bring him on, he go say who he is, because first time I'm meeting this gentleman, first time. All right, guys, get ready because I'm going to put you on, my brother. You ready? Stand by for the action and let the people see your face. Yes, yes, yes. Let them see your face. Turn on your mic and let's talk. You understand?
Good
But you
afternoon.
know, yeah, man. Blessings, blessings, blessings. You know, I didn't I don't know what happened to our internet today, but I create some magic and I bring it back, you know. And today I want them
Right.
to talk to you and you talk to the people because they does text now and then in the chat. All right. So who do we have with us? I mean, I say you're a grandmaster, but people don't know. Just tell it, don't go fast enough. Just tell us your name, who you are, where you're from, and I go dig out the
Right. Well, my name is Samir Carrasquel. Everybody knows me as Sam. Originally from Venezuela. I was born in Venezuela. And I moved, well, not I, but was forced to move to Grenada when my mom married. And we moved on this when I was roughly about 8 years old. And been in Grenada ever since.
Oh, so you pick mango and all kind of thing in Grenada?
Yeah, man, all of that, all of that. Oh, well, I must say, been in Grenada, but been in Montmorris, right? That's where
Oh,
I've I've came to settled when I was brought over, settled in Montmorris. So yeah, all kind of thing as you said, mango, all kind of thing. Yes,
but you have mango in Montmorris, man? You
the
have to come up
best,
St. David. Yeah? That's
the
St. David, you
best,
have
the
to come up.
best.
The best?
Yeah,
Yeah, but when you bite and you bring it down there, no problem with that. You understand?
you
Okay,
know,
so that means,
funny enough to
yeah.
start, right? I got jump a little bit, but the best mango, I get it when we was in Happy Hill together in the back by the river in Grenvilleville. The best. I just when we reach that section, we could reach.
Behave yourself, man. You're behaving yourself. I get you. Oh, so that means you went to tongue school.
um, School wise, primary school wise, I went
Primary,
to
primary. Don't,
Alpha.
you're jumping the gun for me. So, primary, let's talk.
Yeah, primary school wise, I went to Alpha Junior School. At that time, Alpha was just basically started. When I came over, I think it was in 1989 when I went to Alpha. So yeah, Alpha spent a couple years there. Um, After common entrance, I spent 1 year in Westmoreland, and that 1 year was a little bit tough for me, a little bit rough, because that year I was opened up to what I would consider a little bit of bullying, a little bit of, because I wasn't always this strong, strong-minded or strong-willed. I was very scrawny, and I was very um like in a shell at the time. So a lot of people saw that at time to be taken advantage of, you know. So I was there for a year before I told my mom that I couldn't take it. They had to move me from there, and I was transferred over to where I met you in Happy Hill Secondary School.
Oh, okay. So before you jump that gun, you are a MAGA man then? Because I mean,
Very,
if you say they give you stress, you was a little skinny, teeny weeny person in school.
very, very, very. At that time, yeah, yeah.
You kind of stuck there, so I didn't get that part. Yeah, I was asking if you kind of you was a small, slim MAGA man, as they would say in your days. I didn't hear you
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, at that time, at that age, yeah, I probably weighed less than 80 pounds or 75, 85 pounds at them times. I was very, very skinny, very small for my age at that time.
You
So
didn't like
yeah,
food. You didn't like food.
well, it maybe didn't like me, but I was eating a lot.
I get you, boss. I get you. All right. So you jump out of you say Westmoreland, but then you came
Yes.
over to Happy Hill. How you reaching Happy Hill? Don't tell me
Well,
you just came over. Give me the story.
Well, the connection was because where we lived, from Montmorris to Happy Hill is just a strong through a little walk across um through the back road. And when I asked my mom to transfer me over, um she asked me if I wanted to go or where I wanted to go, if it's GBSS or PBC or what. But at the time, I had a friend, very close friend, that was going to Happy Hill at the time. So I said, well, I don't mind going to Happy Hill, and pulled a couple strings, and I ended up in Happy Hill.
Let me unmute. You didn't have to cry for that.
No, I didn't cry. I didn't cry. I must say that change was one that me- started my change over to me being who I become, or who I've becoming to come. You know,
So was that you say you came from, was there really a language barrier, or English was easy? Tell us about that transition.
well, I passed that English barrier hurdle very very early in my life, because when I went to to Alpha, sorry, right? When I started in Alpha, I was no English whatsoever. But thanks to the then principal and founder of Alpha, Mrs. Shirley Broffett, she really spent a lot of time with me, extra classes, extra teaching, a lot of time. And I would say in 5 months, I was talking English. They say that when you're young, the brain is like a sponge, so you just suck everything. So I was like that. I was everything, and then being in Montmorris, being on the road, up and down, liming with the boys. You pick up a lot. So that was the English barrier was quick. Like I would say in a year, I was proper English.
Wow. Wow. So you're bad from time.
Yeah, long time.
A long time you're bad like that. Okay, good. So now we go talk that journey now, because we have some hills to climb. Now you're in Form 1. Was it Form 1 in Happy Hill?
No, when I got transferred, I came to Form 2 in Happy Hill.
Talk
Yeah.
to me. How was Form
Well,
2? You're not
well,
skipping nothing. How was Form 2?
well. Automatically, I did the Form 1 in Westmoreland, so when I came across, they just put me in Form 2.
How was Form 2?
Um,
The stress, the journey, the sweetness?
it was good. It was a different, a new environment, because, um, in all honesty, the I came into a group of people where, when I left Westmoreland, was people at a certain level, that with where they come from. At that time, the majority of people in Westmoreland, the students, were from Lansapine, from Wester Hall, and stuff like that, and they were at that level. And when I went to Happy Hill now, and we came down to a level where it was like, hmm, I don't know how to explain it to a point, but it was like a home. Like I could really coexist. I could really understand. I wasn't being slapped around. I wasn't being pushed. So everybody was like welcoming, to that level, at that point of my life. So it was like a welcome home kind of thing.
Oh, so you come in like a favorite man.
Well, I will say favorite at that point. I probably came in as a favorite, or started being a favorite, or a point of figure in Happy Hill around from 3, from 4. Well, you should know.
Me, I mean, I don't remember anything. Right, and then so Form 2, Form 3, you did they put you up, or you had to beg to go?
By They put me up to Form 3. Um, I passed, at that time, my brain, I was reckless. I wasn't enjoying or doing school like I should. At this point, I always say if I studied more work, I would have become a doctor like you. you know. But I wasn't a studying type. I didn't used to study a lot. I'm always a brain guy. Wherever routine, that's what I would use and remember. And that's what I was. You know, I never studied like everybody or go and study or go to a group study. And that wasn't me. I would just go home and either play some games or go and help my dad in the garden or something. You know,
Oh, good. And we're watching the journey, man. So then now you're in Form 4. What happened?
trouble.
Listening. Hey, you're in Form 4. Let's talk.
Well, Form 4 was a bad year, you know, because Form 4 I really played around, and I had to stay down in Form. So they kept me down. At that time, the principal would have been Mr. Markfield, right? Mr. Markfield say, you giving too much trouble. The grade's not up to par. You're gonna stay down. You know, I was very pissed. I was upset. You know, but that gave me a sense of wanting to do better because they know all your friends leave and go and then you stay back. So that is where the Mr. Noah, Mr. thing came because then at Form 4, being there 2 years, knowing everything or thinking that I know everything, that's when I started to really play and function, do my part, you know, and be who I am and started doing things with the school and stuff like that. You know, so Form 4 was the first time Form 4 was a really reckless time. The second time was a growth, a journey that really opened me to what Form 5 would have been, you know, stuff like that. I did like you're mute. I didn't hear. I lose you there.
You know, students like to get vexed when that happened to them. Who you were vexed with?
Um, Vexed with what? Like with teachers or students or something like that?
Well, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I mean that journey in Form 4, yeah, you
Nah,
must have
well,
get vexed
the first
somewhere.
time I would have been upset with myself because I would have been the only one to blame because I mean, at that time, Happy Hill had some very, very good teachers, you know, the likes of, well, you were French, I didn't take French, you know, but the likes of you, of knowing you and speaking to you were one. Teachers you know who really used to give me a little bit of time, boy, would have been the the social studies teacher. I can't remember his name at the time.
Is that Wilson?
Wilson, Mr. Wilson, he would have given me that, and then the after principal who came after Markfield, who to this day we very good friends, Mr. Thomas. So you know Mr. Thomas when he took over, Mr. Thomas was the general. You know everybody was worried or scared of Mr. Thomas, but after that, you know, like after school and growing up, I mean, very good friend and very good guy. I even when I jump in a bit, when I just to put you there, when I opened the workshop, the new workshop for the first time, he was one of the guys that came and speak to the on my that I asked to come and speak, you know, to give the people a little bit about me in those days, you know. So we very good to this point, you know. Other than that, um, there were other teachers. My POB teacher, good guy, hard headed, but very nice guy, you know. And then
Oh,
and then well, and then I used to spend all my time because that's where I started to love like arts and stuff like that. Would have been in the technical drawing room, right? With Mr. Rampasad, right?
yeah.
That's where I spend my time all the time, drawing plans and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's where there. But to say upset with anybody at the time would have been me for not singing, but not anybody else.
Watch this one now. How many times they throw you out of class?
Oof, boy.
Come
As
on,
as
man.
old as old people say, if I had $1 for every time, I would be here. I would be rich. You know, there was this one time, right? There was this one time. This would have been from from four, where I got in trouble for gambling. Right? We were in the class, and about four of us were gambling, right? For money, and we play money, and we got caught. And we spent a week by the flagpole. You know where they put it by the flagpole and the sun, and we go there, come to school normal, like if you go into school, to go and stand up in that sun from 8 to 2 for a whole week. But I mean, endless time. I mean, and to be honest with you, that is, I would say, fun. The fun part of school. If you were in school and you never got put out of class, you never got in trouble, I don't think you enjoyed school. Being honest, from my point of view.
Oh, okay, okay, good. So that means you have to be remembered. Very interesting.
Yeah,
So,
I think I'm remembered in Happy Hill. Yes.
so, and then now, here comes Form 5.
Right.
Talk to me.
Allspice E.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Talk to
Form
me.
five was a journey. I mean, getting ready now for CXE was a journey. I myself was concerned a bit because, hearing people talk about CXE, I'm not the test kind of guy. I don't like to take tests. I don't, as I told you, I don't like to study. And everything that is retained is what I try to use back. But it was an excellent journey. I mean, at Form 5, I was still being put out. You know, um, at the time, I used to spend a lot of time with the teacher. He used to teach. What he used to teach? Business, principle of business. So Mr. Jones, was it thing?
Jonesy, you're talking
Jonesy,
about, man.
right?
Jonesy.
Um, with Mr. Jones, we spend a lot of time. I used to run the talk shop for him, and I think that's where the part of business factor started to kick in. I used to run the talk shop, and before, funny enough, before Mikey and his brother took over the PA system, I used to run the PA system. I used to set it up, for school and for assemblies. I used to set it up before Mikey and his brother took it over. Um, but yeah, Form 5, I would say no big set of issues or troubles there. Smooth sailing. CXC came. Um, exam I think was 9 subjects, and I passed 7. Yeah, and all from memory. I didn't study. I didn't study anything. So imagine if I studied.
Imagine you walk out smiling, man.
Well, I
What?
was. I
So
I
you
walk out. I walk out smiling with a 7. If I studied, and I walk out all A's.
oh, so but what you're telling me is that you were going to school and you didn't want to go to school. We're talking now.
Well, at that point, where the fact with doing the talk shop and doing thing, it became a little bit more interesting to me, other things than actually academics. Like the was spending a lot of time in technical drawing, in woodwork, talk shop, dealing with the talk shop, moving the talk shop, handling the talk shop, setting up the PA system. You know, so it was more hands-on, kind of going to school every day to, yeah, sat in class doing other academic work, but the aim and the thing was for more to the hands-on factor of knowledge and understanding things.
Interesting. So I go throw you under the bus now. For who listening here, Lord have mercy. So who was your favorite teacher? Although I hear you calling names. Who was the teacher you used to bribe the most, or who was your favorite teacher?
But along the whole school journey, along the journey, right? I can't say I had a favorite, I'll be honest with you, but I had a few that I was really close with. Miss Bean, right? Miss Bean was a very nice teacher, very nice. Miss Jones, she passed. Mr. Ampasad, of course, we were cool because I spent a lot of time in his class. Um, Mr. Benjamin, he was good. Um, and then Mr. Passad in Woodwork too. We spent a lot of time there. So I didn't have a favorite per se, but I was okay and good with a good few of them.
Oh,
If you ask
great.
me who I dislike the most, then I could, but I shouldn't.
I, 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 I can't show you another boss.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't show you another boss, but I know you give some real trouble. You know, yes, some that you give real trouble, but that's good. It was
I did, I did.
that day used to always ring a bell, boy. That boy. Watch this. So tell me, man. You saying all this and I seen value, I seen business. So what pushed you along that line? What was the background? How you end up doing these subjects and end up, because I hear talking talk shop and you saw business and all of that. But you were going to school. Was that on your mind? The
Well,
business subject?
not business subjects, because but I would see more like money, you know,
Go ahead.
looking looking to see um looking to see how the talk shop, how they buy stuff, how they sell stuff. Hearing Mr. Ampasad talk about when you draw plans, you charge X amount, you do this amount, and then in woodwork we did a few projects actually where we built some benches, and I think some of them were sold. A few were used in the school. So that kind of intrigued, that you could do things to gain money, to gain gainful money, and not have to be really beating the books educational fully wise, like full education. You could go the art side, artistically, hands on, and become something or someone, or make a good living out of it.
Oh, so there goes the value. Good.
Yeah, I
And
think that's where the value started.
yeah, there. You unfold the value there. I see that. So what happened after secondary school? I don't know.
Right.
What
Well,
happened?
after secondary school, I was on two options: to either go to TAMCC in Grenada, or to where I went, which was I went back home to Venezuela to go to an academy called the American Academy, and that's where I decided to study architecture. So I graduated as an architect in that period of time, and I'm an actual architect. I don't draw plans anymore, but that's what I do. That's what I'm educationally wise. I'm an architect by
Ah,
educational.
I like that. I like that. That's the part you walked. But now we seen. So you couldn't do that in Grenada?
Um, to a point, in Tam CC, you could have done it, to get like, I think it's an associate's degree that you could get for the 2 years. Um, but it would have just been, at the time, a draftsman. To be a draftsman, to be like that. The aim was to do a little bit more and be an architect. You know,
So you're saying you got hungry?
always hungry up to now.
you you got hungry. All right, we get you there. You were hungry. So after that finish, why you come back?
Well, first and foremost, because my mom is Grenada still. She's here still. Um, I'm from Venezuela, but no, I wouldn't. To this day, I don't think I would live or move back to Venezuela to live. Um, it's a kind of life that after you've been in Grenada, enjoying the peace, the tranquility, the freedom. Because I mean, in Grenada, at any time of the night, you can walk the street, you can do anything, leave your doors open. To leave all of that and then to stay in Venezuela, live, or even go somewhere else was not an option for me. So I came back after I finished back home. And I think that was in 2001. Yeah, came back in 2001.
Oh, and for those listening, you didn't sit down.
No, I didn't sit down.
You didn't sit down. All right, so we walk in that journey. You
When,
didn't sit down. What
when I
happened
came
next?
back, I was enjoying life for probably about 2 months, and then I went and worked with Honest Marshall Construction. Um, the, at the time, they were the biggest. I wouldn't say construction company because they didn't do the finish, but they were the biggest in like structural equipment, things like that. They did some of the biggest and major projects at the time, excavation wise, truckage wise. We did all the sea defense project that they had with the malls today. Honest Marshall Construction did that. Perseverance landfill and Carrasquel landfill. We did that at the time. I say we because I still close, we still close to them. But there were a lot of work. We moved. I think they were the first set of people to have big equipment in Grenada, excavators and stuff like that. So I was with them for 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. 4 years.
4 years. And then you decide to take a holiday and go back home and relax.
Well, I was forced to. Because no, in 2004, 2005, 2004, when was Ivan?
Yes.
Ivan was in 2004, right?
Yes.
Right. I had a accident where I got lash in my eye, and I went back because I had a retinal detachment, and at the time they couldn't do anything here in Grenada for it. So I went back and I spent about 9 months to a year. And funny enough, the day that I was being operated on was the exact day that Ivan hit Grenada. I left the day before. Grenada the day before. I missed it by a.
Wow.
I always say I was kind of upset that I missed it, because then everybody was like, "Oh my God, Ivan!" And Ivan the Terrible missed me. Sam the Terrible.
You're saying you wanted piece of that excitement?
Yeah.
What? Oh, you're a boss. But I enjoyed it too. I mean, hiding
It's an
and heaving.
experience. It's an
Yeah, that's
experience, right?
experience.
And then funny enough, as you rightfully say, is what came after. The unity of the people that you hear about it. Oh, everybody come together, everybody was doing this, doing that, sharing this, sharing that. And I asked myself, where is that? Because we don't have that. All of a sudden, everybody is good, everybody's saying, we only know this kind of kindness from our heart when we're in trouble, or when we're down, which shouldn't be. We should always be good and together, But Ivan brought people together for 2 years? And then once we started and we got back to goodness, everybody just forget it. We on
Wow.
we own.
Yeah, but you're so right. You're so right. And we just scatter again. What is that?
That's
So
right, yeah.
you're lucky you escaped the thing, but there was some things going on in your mind because when you returned, magic unfolded. Was it so?
Not quite. Um, when I returned, I couldn't go back to construction because of my eye, right? The doctor gave me strict instructions to stay away from heavy dust, heavy thing, and stuff like that. So I was down for a while until I went to work with, at the time, my friend, I don't know if I should call name, but at the time, a friend, now a competitor. But I went to work with him, and and that's where I started to do a lot of the signage factor of it, doing installations, doing not designing at the time, but installation, fabrication, and stuff like that. I did that for 2 years. with him, and then I said to myself, I need to go back to do to what I love, and I got a job with Quinn Company, and this would have been 2006, going on to 2007, right? Um, and I was working with Quinn, and I worked with Quinn until 2009. 2009, right? The magic unfolded while I was working with Quinn. When I've had got calls from a friend in particular at the time. This was in 2008. Um, that wanted some work done for at the time general elections, right? And specifically told me, I told him, look, I don't know about, I don't have this, I don't want to do this, I work this. And he said, listen, I need you to do this for me because I don't want to work with any other people that here. I got so much issues from this end and that end. I need you to do it. So I said, okay, I'll do it. And against his wish, which was you do this, not nobody else, I went back to my friend at the time and I said, look, the guy want to do this. I say, you take care of everything and I will just do install. In that way, I can still keep my work with Quinn and I could do something on the side as well. And funny enough, it got back to the guy and he said, I told you to do this. And he called me, say, I told you to do this. Look, the guy now trying to cut and this. Make a long story short, I went and I did it. I went to Trinidad, not knowing where to hit. And I went to Trinidad and I got some connections. And that since then, that is where the magic started. Because as anything in Grenada, when you're the fresh meat, as you say, when you're the new kid on the block, everybody wants a piece of you, right? So here I was juggling with Quinn, and then all this action is starting with at the time what I named Shield Promotions, right? I named it Shield Promotions. That had nothing to do with anything with signage. That was a name that I had in my head, stuck from way back. And I named it Shield Promotions. And I started using that business name and build it up. It was getting so big, that one day my boss, Mr. Quinn, called me in and he said, talk to me about your business. I say, well, my business is your business. I'm working for you. So, thinking it's some trick question. So he goes, no, tell me about your business that you do. I understand you have something doing on the side, I say, oh yeah, well, we do signage, we do graphics and stuff like that, So he said, what kind of investments you have in it, And at the time, I had just bought my very first printer, right? I could never forget. It was a Roland Versa Arts 540i, right? At the time when we were talking about 2008, that printer cost me about 20,000 US. And funny enough, the joke behind this printer, right? Before I bought it and before I purchased it, I went to customs, right? And I was speaking to somebody. I said, look, I want to buy a printer. I want to know what's the duties and everything on it. And the lady said, oh no, duties on printers is like 5% plus the CTE or whatever other fees both have, right? So I go back, I do my calculations, 20,000 US. I calculated about $4,000, right? So I say that's easy, man. Bought the printer. 3 weeks later, it came, and when I go to pay, they told me, "Oh, this printer is an industrial printer. Is range or ranked differently. Your duties now is 20,000." So I started get pale white. I didn't have a mean of it, 20,000. But I begged. At the time, That's where you cross paths with people. At the time, Dr. Antoine, Timothy Antoine, I think, the governor of the Eastern Caribbean, ECC now, he
Yeah.
was he was in the Ministry of Finance, and I went by him, and I literally begging him, look, this was that, I was miscalculated, that this what it told me, and he was like, oh, you look like somebody who's really thinking to do good, and yeah, you're not trying to con me. I said, no, 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 no. So he actually approved and gave me a 50% cut. So I had to pay $10,000, you know, which kicked me out of the budget a bit, but it was worth it. I made it up, put the money together, and I got my first printer, you know. And then that was magic. From there was more magic, because everything before that I used to have to send in Trinidad to print. I never used somebody locally here to print anything while I didn't have a printer. So at the time, again, something that we miss now with inter-Caribbean travel, Liat was making trips in the morning, in the evening, every day. So it was easy to send something, you put something on the plane, you get it the next day. No, we can't do that. So we miss Liat.
Are you crying, man? You're crying.
Yeah, we miss Liat. We miss Liat. Right. So after that discussion, Mr. Quinn told me, say, I think you have so much invested in this. I think you need to go and study your business, you know. And that's when, funny enough, I decided after a while, yeah, you're right. It was hard, because then now my mind started to think, I had to think, it's like you no longer have that sure paycheck, you know. Every 2 weeks when you used to get paid, you no longer have that. So now you have to fight, you have to work, you have to. So it was terrifying to know that you're leaving a secure something. You're leaving that security to jump into something that, no, that, God, I said, we're talking about 2010. It was 2010, we're talking here, so that was 13 years ago. And it was very different than now. I mean, now it's totally different, everybody. I would encourage anybody to jump and do if they want to do it, but you have to know how the games, how to stack yourself. You can't just jump blindly, you know. So I did that. I went and I started my own. I left, and it has been hard work ever since, until my hard work kind of is up probably about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But it's hard, and it's still hard work now mentally, because now there's a lot more things dealing with it. But as you get bigger, your mind, is more mental work, But yeah, so from Quinn 2008, 2010, I was fully on my own, um, with Shield Promotion still at the time.
Yeah, because I want to ask you about Shield, because I know you came out, I was just say, like a bomb, like a boss. You understand? Came out like a boss with Shield, and I knew you was somewhere down in Frequency. How was that? I mean, as a young, I mean, we jump into the entrepreneur business, but as a young businessman, I saw you in Frequency, and to go in Frequency, I mean, what you do? You're a magician?
Right. Listen,
Survive.
let's go back a little bit. Um, Before Frequency, we were actually located in Queens Park, in the back of Queens Park. You know where the Bureau Standards, there.
Yep.
I went there to do something, and I see this guy. He has a little hole. It's literally a hole, a cubby hole, like literally a hole, right? Probably about 15 feet by 20 feet. No AC, dusty, everything, and that's where all the magic started. Like that was where I lived. I lived every day. I would be there first thing in the morning, 6 o'clock. Leave there all kind of hours in the night. Some of the signs that you put up in the background there, like for example the Garfield sign, that was done there. And did a lot of things there. I spent 2 years there. Spent 2 years there. And then when you see things happening and you want to do more, you want to create more, You don't want to. The printing industry is so huge that you don't really want to stick to one thing. So I wanted to start to expand. I wanted to start to do different things. So for that to happen, we had to get space. So looking at spaces at the time, my friend called me and he said, "Oh, there's a space in Frequency Industrial Park." I said, how much is that? Money is a factor when you're a small businessman or a small business. Money is always a factor. So he goes, "Oh, it's cheap. It's like I think it's like $1 a square foot." So I'm like, "Okay, $1 a square foot, that's not bad." So we get through, we get like 2,500 square foot. You know, I spent literally, I would say, like 3/4 of my savings on kind of setting up the frequency, because all you get in frequency is just a shell. It's a shell, and I spent a lot of money there, setting up, building up this little corner there. But from there, it really jumped the gun, because now you had rent to pay, you had everything to work with. You had By this time I would have had what, about 4 employees already, right? I would have about 4 employees. That picture is in frequency. Those pictures you're flashing now is a frequency. Um, and At that time we were still under Shield Promotions, right? Yeah, 2010, 2011, 2012. We were still under Shield Promotions. A lot of hard work again in frequency. We did a lot of good work, a lot of jobs, and then it also opened my mind to what I feel is one of the things that kind of have grand graphics now where it is, or because before you have to be secure and safe under a home, I think your business has to have its home. It have to be settled. You know, so that's why we made that jump to frequency, to have a home, to consider that a home and not just like that. Yeah, where you started let customers know, come to you. They start to come in, they start to see how you function, they start to see things. So you start to widen the array of things where business is concerned.
Yeah, and the journey continues, and the journey continues, and you see okay, well, now you say no rest, no sleep. I don't want to put in the word, no sleep for the hard working.
The wicked, you mean the wicked?
Well, they usually say that. But I want to say, is there really any rest? No sleep because we have more. We have more. I don't want to jump it yet, but how did you breathe during that time? Because you started off your business, and I'm looking at the persons who are watching now, the youth, or the maybe adults too, who are looking at you and say, well, yeah, you have it locked. How did you breathe? We're not jumping ahead. We're talking chill. How were you able to breathe? Because you have bills to pay. I ain't here. You give me the surface. How were you able to breathe?
Well, yeah. Um, at the time, I'll be honest with you now, at the time I didn't have anything to see to go for in life. Meaning, and let me just be point out certain things. At the time I was living home with my parents, right? I had no children. I had nothing, right, at that time. So I put in my time, everything was there in there. I was always there, my time. And I think that is something that a lot of people think, because you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, you need time for yourself and you need time for this," right? No, a lot of people might see the metal like what the way I think sometimes or what I say sometimes. But at that time, I used to have a motto that says, "I will rest when I die." I was rest at that time. At that time, right? Because as I said, at that time I didn't have anything. I was enjoying life. You're working. You're making money. Um, I used to party a lot. I used to drink a lot. It was Hades. It was the Hades at that time. I used any drum beat. Sam was there having fun. Um, so I used to really, how we say, burn the candles in both ends, and I do that all the time. Um, But breathing wise, I mean, I've always had issues or situations with getting making sure that everybody that work got paid, and then me myself just waited or not taking anything until my accountant started to say, oh, you need to start to take a job, a pay, from your work, because when you decide to go legit, the government will come on you, and then I learned the tax man always comes.
What is he coming for, to say you are doing a good job?
Yeah, well, he always comes to make sure that he's getting his fair share.
Oh,
Yeah.
it, interesting, interesting. But I
Yeah.
want to, I want you to pause there. I want to show a video, but
Uh-huh.
I want you to pause. All right, just let the
Okay.
video play. I want to show that video. I want you to pause and don't say anything. You with me?
Right. Yeah.
All right, all right. So I don't know what just happened there. I see a lot of things going on there.
Right.
What's happening there?
Well, jump to what it is now. Grand Graphics. You know, um, crossing the border, right, from Shield Promotions to Grand Graphics. Um, that would have started in 2012. Like the recession, quote unquote recession, world recession, and from 2008 or 2009, somewhere around there, um, where they speak a lot about the recession and things was real tight and you're doing work. And one of the biggest mistakes that I had at the time, which I wasn't really studying the business side of the business, because I was always the one out there working, pumping. I was just studying to do the jobs. And one of the biggest issues that happened at that time is that we were working so much that I wasn't studying to collect the money, right? When it came, it came. But you were working so much that when something done, getting materials, we just buy material, but the money was coming in. So obviously the depletion of your funds are there, you know? So reach a point where it was like very low and he had money outside, a lot of money outside. And I got depressed, and stressed, and I don't function good when I'm depressed and stressed. So I said to myself, I said, nah, this gotta change, we gotta change. And then we started on the journey to do a total revamp, a total change. And we struggled for a while for the name. And I think that name came about with my accountant and myself sipping, having a drink with our friend, a good friend of mine, is the late Mr. Gordon Steele. He was a mentor to me, where finances is concerned, coming to the end of his my era with him, right? And he asked me, what do you see? What do you want? I said, well, at the moment, Grenada, we the best, we the best in Grenada doing graphics, and my vision for that, and we think. So he goes, well, there, that's your name. I say, what, Grenada Graphics? And the accountant says, no, Gren Graphics. And it stuck. It just punched it, Gren Graphics. The flow of it was so, it's real easy, real smooth and everything. And we yes, all right, full 100. Let's start kicking on it. And we made the change and we changed over and we started trading as a limited liability company for the first time in January of 2013. January 2013. That was when Gren Graphics started to trade in Grenada. At the time, we were still in frequent industrial park, pushing out a lot of jobs. I in the depression time where you see money deplete, I was like, if anybody have to crash this business, it gonna be me. It wouldn't be the supplier. So what I decided to do, right? I decided to do charitable work, and that's where the charitable factor of it came into it, because I started to do signage for example, the first one was for the school for the deaf, right? I think you have a picture of that somewhere there. I called my friend at the time, well, friend now, but at the time I was his, he was like my boss, but I do business, I was working for him. But at the time, Mr. Sean, I call him, very good friend now, and I asked him to partner with us in doing some jobs like this, some charity work, and he was very impressed with me wanting to give back and to do charity. So he became a partner in doing those charities, and we did signs for the school for the deaf. We did sign for churches. We did one for St. David's Church in particular, Pentecostal Church. We did quite a few, and with that, as they say, when you give, you get back. When you give open-heartedly, and I think with that, you start to see work. You start to see doing work, and you start to see work coming in. So it started to be opening back and increasing and getting to a point where Gren Graphics was functioning. It's very smooth, very, very smooth. Still out of frequency.
Oh, so what? So you have a big heart, man.
Too big
Your heart big.
sometimes. Too big, too big.
You like to take care of people. I go pause there. I go rewind. Where that come from? Where that big heart come from? Before we go forward, I rewind it now because I hear that big heart, man.
Boy, I can't see it. I guess it's been there all my life. It's just always there. I've always been um in school. I was always, even though I still give trouble, I was still kind. I was still share. I would still do this kind of things. So it's not like if it came from somebody or something. It's within. It's just that I think that time, when that time hit, it was open and the willingness now to give. And what's the difficult, not difficult, but what's the best part of it is that when you give at your lowest, I think that gives you a sense of worth, in the sense, inner worth, or inner goodness. Because if you could give at your lowest, then imagine what you could do when you could at your best.
Definitely. I got you there. So that big heart continues to work. And
Yeah, all the time.
when I say I've seen you all over the place, I've seen evidence of your work all over the place. But I can't talk about it. It's like you become like a, no, let me not use that word. It's like a nice virus, a plague because of your work. So
Well,
what
funny,
going
funny,
on?
what comes with that is the fact that you had to have, and I have a good team. I have a good team um in Gwen Graphics now. So the work, and once you show pride and you show what you want and you teach the right things and the right ways to do something, and you stand firm to what you believe, where what you're doing. Not all, but some would fall in play and fall in line, and they would be on the same trend up with you, with thing. So the quality work and the good work that comes out of Grain Graphics is not. I don't do it anymore. I'll be honest with you. Once or twice, I'll probably put down a sign or wrap something, but all the props and everything, majority has to go to the staff. They do a good job.
What? Yeah, boss, man. Yeah, boss. Good. Good. Very rare you hear businessmen talk and praise their stuff like that. Most of them is, I've done it. But anyway, let me not throw anybody under the bus. But looking at it, Grand Graphics, you've chosen a location. Where is that?
Right. Now, interested that location. We this piece of land came up. Um, I bought that land in 2012. We bought that piece of land, right? And it was sitting there, and I didn't know what to do with it because it was basically a mountain. It was when you look at the side of the road, it's like a whole mountain come down. Um, and I didn't know what to do with it. At one point, I tell myself like I bought a white elephant, um, to sit there and be there. But um, when GIDC sent a letter saying, "Look, we're gonna be increasing rent," um, I looked at the space that I had and what they offer in GIDC, the galvanized opening, and I said to myself, "Why would I be paying all this?" And then back to Mr. Steele now, where he said, "Well, pay a loan, pay a mortgage," you know. So I went through the process of the mortgage, but while doing that, ever so slowly, I got excavator to every this excavate. It took me a year, yeah, it took me about a year and a few months to excavate the land right down. I mean, and it was just out of pocket, doing a piece here, doing a piece there, because doing everything one time, some of the excavation companies were charging me hundred and up, 100,000 and up like that, and at the time, there was a lot. So I brought it down. It took me about a year to get the land right down to the level, to the road level as it is now. And once it was at that level, I decided, I'm gonna go to the bank now, and the bank gave me trouble, Sorry to say, at the beginning of that time, which is the same bank now, we're good now, but the bank at the time, they were like, no, no, this is no good, this is not good. And then, mind you, I think that same year, we were GIDC, not GIDC, it's GCIC. They normally have this entrepreneur thing. So we won. I
Yeah.
won that young entrepreneur of the year for that the first time. And the very Monday after that, the same people in the bank that tell me no, they come and say, look, we see you got that. Let's see how we can work this out. you know Funny enough, so we won, and I mean GCIC, we won a few awards there as well. We won a couple of, I think about 4 awards we won in GCIC for a couple of years, until a point reached and I said, look, I don't want to take part in J. You gotta give somebody else a chance. That's joking, but yeah. So the bank called me. We went through and they approved the loan. You know, for the building, but they
Yeah.
approved the loan. They approved the loan. Let's say, and funny, this was a rough part, right? They approved the loan. I think it was around April, right? April 2016. Yeah, yeah, April 2016. They approved the loan, right? And this was the most I would have ever taken in a bank as a loan or anything like that. So I was scared. I was scared. And that approval sat in the bank for about 3 months. Me not wanting to go, and I got a call one night, And as my lawyer come, we talk, and she call and she say, "What are you doing?" She say, "Nothing happens for everything happens for a reason. Nothing happened there. So you have this day, you're letting it lapse." So I tell her, I say, what if, what if I build this and it doesn't come out? What if, the bank, it's a lot of money? And she goes, "Well, what if you do it and it takes off? Why what the bad what ifs? Why not look at the good what ifs?" So after speaking to her that night for roughly probably about 2 hours, 3 hours talking, the next morning I was in the bank and I signed on the dotted line, and I had to say from there was history with the bank, because right now it doesn't take long for me, and I call the bank for them to approve anything. But yeah, so with that, I started construction, and I drew all the plans. Remember, I told you I studied architecture, so I drew all the plans, and I did all the site supervision, site super management with the experience I have from Marshall and Quinn, right? Now, mind you, the bank asked me to get 3 quotations from contractors and builders building. The lowest bid came in at about 900,000. The highest was like 1.4 million to build it, right? And I told the bank, I say, I don't need all that money. I don't need that money. I want to do it in phases, and for the first phase, I'm only going to take 500,000. And they say, nah, that can't work. That can't work. And then we had a problem because they didn't have that. They didn't have that. They didn't know. They didn't think, or they didn't think I could have done it, right? So do so. I don't know what happened. Somebody in the bank say, let me give this guy a try. Let him, even if he fail, we could sell it for whatever we get and get back our money. And they gave me the money. I started doing all the construction for myself. Got guys to work, manage it, and by April of 2017, the first phase was completed. Everything in the building was in the section where we work, where we produce from, where the workshop or consider the office, was done immaculate, properly. It was tiles, everything of high standard, high quality. And French, I still had about $100,000 left over, from the 500. So I always tap myself in the shoulder for that one, because I was real tight with that construction piece, with the first phase. I was really, really tight, and I managed it to a point where the staff, the construction at the time, was saying, "Now, you're killing us. We're going too hard. We had to think." I said, "Well, we need to get this done." I had to open the lease in GIDC was going to be up in May. I said we need to open before that, and we had a launch, and we opened our doors in Woodlands, Granners Valley / Woodlands, on the 14th of April 2017. That was the bottom section. 14th of April 2017. Yeah.
You unlock
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Look at the man. Look at the man. I go show this at you. Look, with all this, for me, I hear like a up and down. How many days and nights you spend balling, man? Who you cuss out? You rather say so. You rather say so.
Countless, because it was not better roses. It was never an easy challenge. I mean, and nothing should be easy. Anything easy, I don't know if I should say, but anything easy doesn't feel right. You have to be, you have to go, you have to have challenges. You must go through in order to enjoy. At least I think so. In order to enjoy what you build, you must see trouble with it. So, like children, you see trouble with your children when they get bigger, they become something, and you're proud, and you say, "Oh, my son, my daughter." So you had to see trouble. So I saw a lot of trouble. I mean, I still seen trouble. You still go through trouble. You still go through problems. I mean, you still have issues to deal with customers, with the bank, with jobs. So you always have to have that. But the beauty about it is how you handle those things and how you come out on top of it. Um, I no longer see look at the what if the bad or if the glass half empty, but what if it comes out good, and and the glass half full. The optimism instead of this optimism, instead of pessimism, something like that.
Right, so you're not going for no pessimism. I get you, brother. I get you. You're on top of the game. You're on top of the game. Look here now, man. Now, what you're saying to me here is that although you felt like giving up, you saw the bigger picture.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
you mentioned it, but I am forcing it out now. What was that bigger picture then? Because that sounded like a lot of fire was, and tree was cutting down, fire was blazing in your path. What was that big
um,
picture? Couldn't you just
uh,
run now? Just
well, the big picture is running now. The big picture is going graphics. And what we are getting to now. Let me just go back one, right? Before I put Grand Graphics to myself and push up, I met with two at the time friends that were doing similar in things in the printing industry, right? One was doing a lot of vehicle graphics. He had a lot. The other was doing a lot of small printing, and I met with them, and I decided, I said, look, let's come together. Let's come and build one thing, one big printing company, one graphics company that could be big, and with that, Grenada we would be like the best or the big in the nation. And funny enough, I never heard back from them, and then weeks later you hear, like in Grenada, everything you hear with a grapevine, you hear it down the road, and weeks later I heard, oh boy, them boy, they say you're going broke and you can or you're running out of business and you want help to build something, so they took it wrong. They took my what my vision was. I mean, and again, it's my vision, it wasn't their vision. So they took it wrong. So when I heard that, I said, you know what, run with it, do it for yourself. So I did that. I went for myself, and I mean, and I look at those same people now, the competition or some of my competition now, and the achievement that Grand Graphics has had towards where they are, and the level of show you could see as chalk and cheese, as old people would say.
I got you, man. I got you. I got you. I got you. So in local Grenada terms, you say they don't bother with you.
Yeah, they didn't bother. They didn't bother. But they didn't bother with the self either, because at this time, the level of, if we had come together and
Mhm.
formed that strong industry, we would have been a reckon to be forced with, because even though at their level they still do good work, they still push out good work, but if you have everybody come together and form one great entity, I mean, we would have a problem going to government now and say, look, we need to get a better rate for concessions for bringing in equipments, or let's stand with something formed with regulation of costs, that a sign should cost X right around the board, and if a company wants to give a discount, that is on them, but not because you want to beat a price to get a job. you know we have to get away from the mentality of eating our food, or how you should say, hustling, into business, getting there into a business mind and a business sector. We had to forget the eat our food mentality.
But isn't that good because everybody's running towards it?
Which one?
The eater food.
But you
A lot
see,
of
the
people
problem
like the
is,
eater food.
yeah, but the problem is that when you're eating our food, you're just eating for now. You're not eating for the future, and you need to be looking forward. And if everybody eating from the same pot, imagine, look at it this way, Frenchie. You have 20 dog in your yard and you have one pot, and you just put the food there and everybody run to eat that one pot. Somebody won't get the share, the equal share. You understand? But if you now have 20 pots and everybody get, the ability to come to do that, it's better. You understand?
Definitely, definitely. So in your field, and I'm merging them now. In your field, as I'm looking at the graphics and the designing, right? Because we go
Mhm.
touch that part again, the graphics and the designing. Do your clients just come to you, or you just say, look, I have this idea, I want you to put that on your vehicle or your bus or your business place? What happens?
Now, the thing is, a lot of customers, when we deal with corporate, because yeah, we had to itemize custom. Excuse, we had to itemize customers. Now we have the corporate customers, which obviously they would have their branding and their guidelines and everything that they do. So they would come with their factors, their work and everything like that. We have a couple corporate customers that will say, look, design this for us and do this, right? But then now we have the everyday customers who would come and say, look, I want to do this, or I want to put this on my vehicle, I want to put that, you know. So they would come and they would say, let me see what you do. I want to see what you do. And I'm like, we don't do like that, you know. Tell me what you want. Let's get what you want from your mind, you know. I always tell them that with your ideas, we put together with our ideas and you create something unique for you, instead of you seeing something with somebody else and say, I want that. And then you have something that somebody else have as well. I've lost a couple of customers like that. They come and they say, this is what I want. I pay you money. This is what I want to do. And I say, well, I'm sorry, but I cannot do that. I won't feel right if I pay money to build a house, for example, and the same builder, somebody come and say, and the same builder take the exact same design and build it for somebody else. I wouldn't feel right, you know. So it shouldn't be that way, because you the first, you create your things. So why should somebody else just come and say, look, take it? So I've lost customers like that, that they say, I pay you, so you should do what I say. So give me the exact same thing. No, you can't do that. Well, at least me, I can't do that.
Oh, okay. So you're a good man. You're not just after the money. That's why you're saying out loud, so.
Well, but it's always about the money, no. But at this point, it's not about the money. If you understand how that psychology works, you know, there comes a point where you get to realize that money is not everything. You know, your work you do, once your job is satisfactory, um, it's not about the money anymore. Yes, you have to make money because you're in business to make money, right? People didn't go into business for fun. You know, it's not fun. Business is not fun, right? But you can make it fun once you go through and do everything that you have to do right, and not wholly and solely be going into business for money. If you understand what I'm saying, you provide a service, and I'm sure, I think I'm happy to see that we provide the best service, or one of the best service. You know, we are at the top, you know, in this industry, providing a high quality service for a cost that is still affordable compared to other companies that are around.
And you say it boldly. I like that. I like that. But here you know, for the for the people watching, the youth, right? I see, well, we actually analyze it and we see your field as creative and innovative. And we hear him talks about the creative arts and innovation and so on. So that's why we say, no, this man is a champion. He and his team, they are doing magic. What's your take on that now? Because in your time, there wasn't anything like that being taught in schools in the detail. What's your
No,
take now looking ahead before we go back to your business?
well, on the creative factor of it, you know, it's great. I think it needed to be done. If in my time it was being taught to that level that it is now, and the enthusiasm and the push that they have now, especially now in this government that is pushing a lot into the creative arts and the creative field. If we, or in my time, had that, it would have been a different ball game. You understand me? Um, I agree wholeheartedly and wholly with what's going on with the creative arts. It's an industry that needs a lot of assistance. It's an industry that needs a lot of looking after. You know, in the past, it was just look like, oh, an artist is just an artist, or you're a graphics guy, or you're, painting. You just look at it if it's like a hobby, but it shouldn't be. It could become, a career. It could become that is way more valuable than other industry, or on par with other industries, to make the economy evolve. So I think the this the creative factor of it is good. I mean, and the initiatives that this government has taken on it, and I must say it, I agree with it. I myself, Grand Graphics itself, has benefited from it, with the 100% concessions that they are given. Um, we got concession. I mean, we just about to bring in some new equipment, to revolutionize the t-shirt printing industry, and we got concession from the creative arts, sector. So this is something very good. I would agree with it. I would push it forward, and I would, encourage every and any person who would like to be in the industry to register under that, and try to get the benefits to help them move forward where that is concerned.
Great, man. Grenada is moving ahead. Lovely,
Yes.
lovely, lovely. Looking at it like that now. No, you've taken on using these skills. You've taken on the task as entrepreneur, and that's what we're looking at, the businessman fully, right? And you say you have people now doing the work, and you mixing in and out.
Yeah.
What's your life like? I'm putting you under the bus now.
What's my
What's
life
your
like now?
what's your daily life is like? Is it running and hide, balling, chasing down the wind? Or,
No, 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 no. Um, it's quiet. It's more quiet now. I mean, right now, I have the vision that I have for Grand Graphics now is to kind of expand to different things. Now, as I said earlier, the printing industry is a huge industry, right? And I've lost two friends in the industry, all because they took my advice the wrong way. For example, there was one that was going in and going into the printing industry, and he was going to buy, or he went and buy, a wide format printer. You know, and one of the things I said was, look, we already have four wide format printers. Yeah, why don't you get another piece of equipment, another from the different other than wide format printing, right? He was doing a lot of small printing books and stuff like that. So why not get a digital press, to do books, to do books, to press books, to things like that, and expand on that side of the printing industry. And he took, like, if I was, it was taken as if I was being like jealous of it, or condemning that step, but it wasn't, because if all of us buy the same printer, then why should we be fighting, for the same work, for the same one work? Where in the printing industry, there's sublimation, digital press, direct to garment printing, label printing. The industry is so huge. Soft fabrics, soft displays, that we could expand to those. And if everybody specializes or goes onto one of the factors of the industry, then we have no need to go to Trinidad, or to go to Miami, or to go to all these other countries to buy, or to bring in something, to books. If let's say one of those company want to print all the end of year, end of meeting books that they normally print with the reports, it could be done here instead of printing it in Trinidad and ship. If somebody had a printing press, but no, everybody see Grand Graphics or other companies doing wraps or billboards, something like that, and the new upcoming ones, instead of broadening the minds and looking at dye sublimation printing, uniform printing, things like that, and go into that factor of the industry, they're jumping in and they're buying wide format printers to come and fight. So my thing now, on my day-to-day business now, is to get onto now those things, to bring all those things under one roof, right? So, for example, we just acquire, about 3 months ago, we acquire a laser printer, a laser cutter. So we do laser cutters, engraving, and stuff like that, right? So with all those things, that's right, yeah. So with that now we do things like card business card holders, brochure holders. All of that could be done locally now instead of you buying that from Amazon or from other companies ready made. We could make it, brand it, and have it locally made. So that's from that point there. And now we just bought. You want to say something or?
No, man, you have me going crazy there. Go on, boss. No, I
Yeah.
love it. Go
So
ahead.
so we just purchased a new printer, um, which is direct to garment. So now we printing directly onto the t-shirts. So now we no longer. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my screen printing equipment because that's gonna be becoming obsolete. You know, because there's no need to screen print anymore. So with this machine that we're getting, right, hopefully should be up and running by middle to end of October, right? No, we could print directly on t-shirts. So like this t-shirt I have here, instead of doing screen print, doing 5 screens or 6 screens to get this work, the direct to garment printer printing it in less than a minute. And the quality is up to max. No inks to dirty your hand anymore. Cost effective because no longer you have to pay for every screen. Before we screen printing, every color is a screen. So that is the next step, and I'm already looking to the next step. Creative arts might get tired of it because with this opportunity, I said it concession for concession. So the next move is dye sublimation. The next move is dye sublimation printing. you know so the equipment, so that dye sublimation, and then hopefully after dye sub we're going to be looking and bringing in a label printer which would print labels for bottling companies and stuff like that, at a high rate.
But you were making joke? You were
No,
making joke at all?
we're not in this thing for fun, I tell you.
No, man, you're not playing this thing. Hey, but you just say make Grenada international. The world needs to
Well,
know this. The whole of Grenada need to know this.
well, listen, Grenada has been international for a long time. It's only now lately that we're getting out there more. The carnival is getting out there. Kirani James just won the games there, so it's been more and more open. So my name now have to come out. You understand me? So Grand Graphics now have to become a name factor where you call it and they say, oh yeah, Grand Graphics Grenada, things like that.
So that's the name we're going to be calling. That's the name we're going to be calling, of course. And you spoke up some things that, I mean, the books, brother. We have a lot of people in Grenada, authors who are writing. You understand? And
Yeah.
and just as you say, we always have to order from outside. When will your industry fix that?
Well, I don't know about the industry, but I'm hoping to fix that in 2025, right?
Talk to me, man. Talk to me, man.
As I said, I want to start off with the direct to garment printing because there are um, a lot of young artists that want to do their own brands, their own labels, and it's costly for them to do screen printing, and now the designs now are so intricate that they come with all those shades and colors and things like that it's very difficult to get that. So instead of them doing a design and then sending to Trinidad, the US or wherever to print and then ship back, with this factor, this is who we want to aim at now. So the people that have those small brands that they want to bring out, you're gonna get that top quality printing, right home. And we also, well, right now we also looking for a supplier, t-shirt supplier as well, so that we can now stock t-shirts as well. So when you come, it's a one-stop shop. You just come. This is the color you want. This is how many you want, and we move forward with that. The books factor, I'm already looking at it. I already looked at a lot of things, binding and stuff like that, equipment, printing and stuff like that. So the aim for that is for 2025. So I have like a 5-year vision in my head to everything planned in my year for 5 years.
But you're not wasting time, brother. I like it. You're not wasting time because I mean, I have a couple books already written, and I just find it's hard to spend the money outside. Make it, you go take my money. Yeah,
Nah,
my
yeah,
money
yeah,
waiting
yeah,
to
yeah.
spend you.
Yeah. The
So,
first, the
yeah.
first, the first issue got print for free.
There you go. There you go, brother. There you go. You know, I've been writing ever since, and I just find it's hard to bring it in, so I do ebooks. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah,
Do
yeah.
ebooks. I want the money to stay in Grenada, and of course, for all the persons out there, we have T-shirts and so on that have to come. And looking at I mean, you're top notch. I mean, it's the top notch work that you're doing, and we love it. So What happens to this becoming a teaching learning institution? Do you see a
Well,
business connecting with schools?
well, funny enough you say that, right? Because um, I have a friend named Eddie, right? He teaches in PBC, and every year he calls me and for the career week, and I go and I do that. And I've been discussing it with one of my workers there to do teaching for raps, for example, and open to do that kind of printing, that kind of contribution with people and schools and stuff like that. So it's something that I have been in my mind, have been in my mind, and I've been willing to, but is to get the right time, the right space, because obviously it has to we have to get a proper space, with all the different necessities to have that being taught, like first class. Like if you go, let's say, to one of those schools that teaches it in Miami, where you go and you get that full class experience, you know. So it's something that's in my mind, and something that I would like to do, but it's just the time. And sadly enough, it's not in the 5 year plan, but it's in there.
I hear you, but you're contributing, which is classic. You understand?
Yeah,
And we see this. There are a lot of students who do CSEC theaters. They usually have to interview creative artists, performing artists, and so on. And for years, we've been recycling the same persons. And
right.
so I'm telling you up front that you would be on the list when students have to come and interview you, so that they can write their CXC and get that information from you and then process that for CXC. So look out for students coming to interview. Don't turn them down. Some
No
Grenadians like to
problem.
talk to students. Oh
No,
Lord,
no,
did I
no.
say
They're always open. Once you call and you want to get this done, I'm willing to work with students and everybody that's willing to learn. Because you must be willing to accept in order for it again, to receive. If you're not willing to accept, you won't receive.
Definitely. So here we go now. You've been through all these rough ups and downs. Why are you still doing it? You mentioned it, but I hit in your head now. Why are you still doing it? I know
Well,
it's not for the money. Why are you still doing it?
well, one thing is the love for it, right? Is I like it. I like it. Um, Secondly, I want to put certain facilities like Green Graphics, and bring certain services that are affordable to people, right? Um, I'm not saying cheap, because good things not cheap and cheap things not good. So if you want good quality, you have the cost, which is the facility cost to get things right, you know. So I so yeah, so I do it for the love of it, and then obviously because it has become something, it has grown to be an entity. It has grown to become a pillar in the community where we are now. So once you're in. I'm neck deep now. You can't leave it to fall. You can't leave it to die. You can't. So once you're involved in something that you have passion about, you have to keep at it. So that's why I keep at it every day and trying to grow it to different things, bring in different services, different equipment, you know. So those are the basic, the most, that keep me going.
My mic, sorry. The life of an entrepreneur, a businessman, young, because you're young.
I'm
I
so
could say
young
that you're
again.
young. Don't fight that. You're young, right? That spirit. I mean, I can't close this session without you saying the life of a businessman. I mean, you mentioned your journey, but how would you summarize that? The life of a businessman, a startup to an established company from startup. What would you say on that?
Ugh, that is a tough one because it's tough, I
But
I think
the people listening.
I think as I always tell people, like if you could drive in Grenada, you could drive anywhere in the world. And it comes the same way that if you could survive in business in Grenada, you can do and survive anywhere. Grenada, I think, is one of the hardest place to grow your business or to be successful in business. It could happen because there are businesses that are successful, but it's not easy because I mean we in Grenada, the facilities, the lending institutions have that's a hurdle, big hurdle there. Then now you have the concessions and the government duties as a next big hurdle there, right? On top of that, you have the fact that you need to bring in everything to Grenada to do it. We don't manufacture anything, so everything that in any industry that you have to do, you have to bring it in, unless you're doing something local, some local juice or local something, you know. But every business man, I think, or every entrepreneur has a vision to be the best, the biggest, and the best in what he is in, you know. So in Grenada, to be in business, you have to be strong. You know, you have to have because it's not easy. You have people that fight you down. You have companies that say, "Oh, I don't work for him because," or "You don't give him work because it's him or that," you know. But if you could do it in Grenada, you could do it anywhere. And once your business passes 3 years without failing, then there's no failure. It's only up because the 3 to 5 years, first 3 to 5 years are the hardest in any business. You have to grow it, you have to grow your clientele, you have to grow your service. But once you pass that little hurdle there, anything is possible. It could only fall if you fall or you allow it to fall, you know? But once you pass that 5 year mark, that 3 year mark, you're gone clear.
So, brother, children now in school by Form 3, they want to drop out. A young grandmaster like you, for the people or the children listening, there are some children who just want to do things with their hands and their mind and their voice and body. They want to drop out in Form 3. Can you speak
Um,
to that?
well, I wouldn't advise it. I mean, because you know nowadays everything is education, everything is paper, books. To get a job sweeping the streets, you need some kind of finish secondary school, or you need some kind of qualification, right? So I would say stick at it. If children in school, young children in school want to drop out, I mean, because you want to be good with your hands, yes, you could make money with your hands, you could be creative with your hands, but both things have to come together. You have to have the academic factor of it because there's no sense being good at, let's say, a mechanic or fixing things with your hand, and you can't manage the money or you can't manage the business side of it. You know, so you must be able to do both. You have to have the academic factor of it, and you have to have the hands-on factor of it. So stick with it. It's just 2 years more. Till Form 5. After Form 5, if you want to go hard with it, by all means. But at least you have accomplished that. You have the secondary school education, which is basic now in today's world. Before 30 years ago, you do secondary school, it was okay. You could have entered and gone work somewhere else. But now, today, with even with a secondary school, finishing secondary school, having 10 CXC subjects or 5 or whatever the amount is not enough, right? So don't drop out. It's never good to drop out, because when you drop out, it's like a failure. You fail to finish, and nobody should fail to finish something. You should always try to get it done.
Definitely, definitely. So what's your take now on that other side? Should we go technical school and academics? Should we separate them?
No, no. Let me tell you something. In Happy Hill, and that was one of the greatest things I enjoyed in Happy Hill. Now, when, for example, Westmoreland at the time and a lot of school at the times, they didn't have the technical side of it. They didn't have technical drawing. They didn't have architecture. They didn't have building tech.
Tech.
They didn't have those things. So I met and I know people that finished school, let's say in GBSS at the time, or even Westmoreland, that went to school or went for a second year, which was common at the time, to do woodwork or to do TD or to do building tech. So I separating them makes no, to me, shouldn't be. I mean, yes, they could have technical schools dedicated to something, but the secondary schools now, let them include inclusion. Like now in this day and age, everything is inclusion. So let it be included. They could both coexist. I mean, it worked for me. And in all honesty, in schools like that, sometimes the education side of it, the book side of it, does be so demanding that taking the time to go to 2 classes, be it woodwork, technical drawing, or building tech, it's like a de-stressor. It brings you back down to relaxing and to do that kind of thing, distressing you, to give you back to the educational side of it, to the book side of it. But no, in my opinion, no, they shouldn't be separated.
I got you. So looking at the future of education, you see a mixed, a merger, inclusion, right?
Well, yeah, because now, even now, where we stand now, a lot of schools have now included technical drawing, woodwork, and building technology, and other things. Other schools have classes to do different things, whether it be electrical or things like that. So they are being inclusive now. So that is good. It could only get better.
But I want to put you on that spot here. Days gone by, and it still happens. They usually they say the students who are slow, they send them to these disciplines, subject areas. So they send them, you're slow, go across there to the creative arts, or go and do this subject there. Go and use your hands.
Well, look.
Is that feel for slow people?
No, it's not. But look, as you rightfully see, days gone by when people were going to Happy Hill, or they look at the Happy Hill, they look at it like a nobody school. You teach there. The majority schools, they don't do nothing. But if you look at a lot of people in places or different locations in now in Grenada, a lot of these people come from those schools. It's no longer everybody from those other schools, but a lot of the people that in positions now come from those schools, be it Happy Hill, Boca, SAS, up in St. John's Christians and schools like that. A lot of people now have in places of good standards, economy. I mean, look, we have a minister from Happy Hill there. The minister Telesford, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he went Happy Hill.
You got it.
Theodore have one of the most successful hardware store. Hardware store. Yeah, and he went Happy Hill.
On the spot. Yeah,
on the spot hardware.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So a lot of people that think that they got and they went there, they got all those things from that. It's no longer that they go to that school because of that. And the fact too, I mean, is a lot of determination within the people themselves. You understand me? Because if you want something, you will go for it. So when you look at people like Theodore, Cromwell, all of us, we went to Happy Hill, we do a lot. It's determination to want something. or to be something or someone.
Exactly, exactly. You see, because I know it's still happening because the creative arts is getting a lot of leaks like that. You dumb them because you think they can
They're not
do the
mentally
academic.
fit for it. Yeah, they can't do the
Yeah,
academics.
they can do that, and it's like, and it's really the other way around. So you're right. So I was just looking at it from that perspective. And
Yeah.
so in your days, people wanted to go to Happy for ag science and all these other things too. So looking at this now, a lot of the Happy students are way ahead in the game. I ain't blowing all the trumpet in it. I'm not
Well, you
blowing
gotta
no
blow it.
trumpet for
You gotta blow it. You gotta
I
blow it. You gotta blow it
I ain't
because
blowing the
some you
trumpet.
gotta give Jackie jacket. You understand me? You gotta make sure that because if people doing good and even now like the let's say students, creative arts or any industry or anything now, we have to learn to give them the applause. Give them what is due to them. No, as people say, I want everything. No, I don't want no pie in the sky. Give me it no. So if you have praises, you have bad things to say, everything. I mean, everything should be taken, because through that level you learn. You have to learn to listen to criticism. You have to learn to take good things. You have to learn to take bad things, and you in your mind and in your ways format them to suit you to make you a better person. You know. So I always accept the criticism. I always accept everything. I mean, when you're telling me bad, my face, my front, I'm like, but but I take it in, I listening to it and I think, and then just from that. Just from that. No, but you have to give everybody what's due to them. Don't let we hold back and see they're doing good and then wait till they reach where they go in to say, good job, I know you could have done it. No. From now, you have to push them. The creative arts is doing a good job. Let them push them forward. I mean, not everybody will make it because I mean, everybody had to try, but not everybody would make it. But let's give them that push. Let's give them that award. Let's give them everything. They should come with GIDC have the award. Creative industry should come with awards now or award ceremony to give to those people coming up to give them the rush, to give them the vibe to go on, to keep them going. I'm doing this for a reason. That's my view.
Definitely, 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 definitely. And looking at things, I mean, when you reflect, you see changes in society. And talking the business side now, because I'm both creative arts and the business. Talking the business side, I've been going around and I see a lot of unhappy staff. As a businessman, right?
Right.
As a businessman, the unhappy staff, there's some businessmen who don't think about that. The unhappy staff, what's the danger for those who don't understand what's really going on?
There's a sticky point, there's a critical factor, but it's something that must be talked about, right? That must be said, right? Now, people have to understand that the unhappy side of employees and thing from my point of view, and remember this is my views, right? Has to do all with the economy, right? Standard of living in Grenada is high. I mean, all over the world is high, but standard of living in Grenada is high, high. I mean, the government just came out last week with different rates of new rates of on pay, right? Rates of pay, minimum wages. But
Minimum wage,
but
yes.
but it's still sad that the minimum wage that they come to is still lower than what is needed to get those to employees to smile. Now, beyond that factor, then we have the unhappy employees that a lot of see how other employees are functioning, and they just it's like like you have a bad apple and you put a bad apple with the good apples and then all the apples start to spoil. you know so you have to balance it. I mean, it's not it's critique to say how I feel openly, but it's have a play both on the employee side and both on the employer side. I mean, from my point of view, with my I try to make sure and keep everybody happy. They have the time. I think I pay well. I think. They mightn't think so because the economy is high. But then now you pay based on what you make in the company in general. Because you have a business, you cannot pay what you not making. So you also have to look at those factors: the business that you're in, the line of business that you're in, the money that business is bringing in, and what it could pay out. So I tend to think that we pay good. I pay good. I think to treat the staff like family, and not like employees. So whenever there's a birthday, there's this, we go out, we hang out, we have parties, we have this. So I tend to do that. And once you do that and you keep everybody on that level, they mightn't be making 10,000 a month, but they they're happy, and they know the work. It shows because of the work and the quality of work. Um, Unlike there are businesses that do underpay, or they do treat employees bad, but not every business is like that. Not every So it's critical. I might say something, another boss might say something, so it's different views that come from that.
All right, but I got you. I got you. I just showed that one out there. And like, is it, just to close here, is it important to listen to the voice of your workers?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Now, it may sound like a crazy question, but in my research and my study, I've discovered so many flaws in that area there.
No, it's not crazy. Again, back to inclusion, right? So I always say, when I talking to my staff, I always say we. Even though I ain't doing much of the work again, I say, but when I come and we have a staff meeting, I say we have to wrap that bus, and we have to do this, and we have to do that, we have to that. It's we. It's not you, it's not I, it's we. So we have to do that. All of us have to do that. But yes, it is very important to listen to yourself, even though at the end, you as the employer or the boss think that your idea should go forward. you know but when you listen to them and you blend your ideas with their ideas, magic happens. I learned something from an employee once, that he was like, obey the captain and sing the ship. Just do what do whatever the boss say, but while that is the modus operandi with a lot of business, workers, obey the captain and sing the ship. But the thing is, when you do that and you sing the ship, all of us float with no ship to ride. So it's good to hear them, hear the input, hear what they're saying, and apply it at the same time. Because once you hear what somebody says, or once the employees see that they have their ideas come out, or their ideas are functioning, or their ideas are working, then they feel more a part of it. And compensating, of course, if a project goes well and they do a lot, say, look, this is a little bonus company added to your, because of your input on this project, or something like that. Those kind of things. I do that sometimes.
Great. You see, because I wanted that energy to touch the persons out there who are starting businesses, the young entrepreneur. And we see value in what you do and how you merge the creative arts and the arts.
Let me tell you, one thing I just want to put in there for the people, or the young ones that started business. I want, like, the mentality. I wonder if we could get them to change the mentality of what it's, like, when you look on Facebook, or you read comments, you see everybody say a hustling, or a hustling, or a hustling, or a hustling. I don't know if we could come to terms to try and move them away from that mentality, from a hustling mentality, and move on to the business man, like a business person mentality, because when you hustle, you're just hustling for today, for tomorrow. That's what hustling is. You're hustling today what you could do for today and tomorrow. Whereas when you're doing the business factor of it and you're projecting, you're looking for the future. You're looking for 10 years down the line. What would this business are starting today? Could it project 10 years down the line? Could I keep it alive 10 years down the line? But if you're hustling, and then when you're hustling, your mind is not wholly and solely on that business, because you're hustling, you're thinking about the next dollar. That's what you're thinking about, where the next dollar coming from. But hustling, I'm selling water here, let me sell chicken down there, So while that might be good, you might not be taking the potential of everything, because you're doing too many things, hustling too many things one time. So you build one, you go to the next, you build one, you go to the next, So we had to stop hustling, and broaden our minds to business, the business person, that kind of mentality. Hustling, no hustling going forward.
No hustling going forward. I love that. No
No
hustling.
hustling.
Focus and get it
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. So the business. So that means we need that business concept and ideas early, because I remember just a few months ago, a Form 2 asked me if I could teach them business. They want to
Well,
learn how to start a business in Form 2.
well, that is a good enthusiasm, but you can't. I don't know, but you can't teach business. A lot of it
Ah,
you might teach. You might teach what the factors of it, or how to handle it, or what like when you go to. But I think the true business factor of it is learned in the field. When you're in it. Like Lotto, you gotta be in it to win it. So when you in it, that is what I think, when you really learn business, because a lot of what you're being taught, it doesn't apply majority of the time to what you're doing, or the factor of the business that you're doing. Everybody wants to study business, but you end up working for somebody that doesn't know business. You understand what I'm saying? So
so that
so
ain't
so
going anywhere. That ain't going anywhere.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah.
taught. It's
That's
gonna be
beautiful.
learned. It's gonna be learned in the
Yeah.
field. Yeah,
Yep.
that's my
Definitely.
view. That's my view of it.
I got your vibes here, man. Great. Right. So before we take this down, let's rewind. Before we take this down, we see your story, we hear your story, we understand your journey. Right? So, but there are persons who saw you and say, well, okay, life easy. Now you're recapping your journey because we're closing. So your focus, your future for your business, you mentioned it already in a few things, but I want you to talk reflectively before we close this. What's to come for no longer Chile, but Grain Graphics, and what you see your business doing to help Grenada grow beyond what it's already doing. Tight spot.
Right. Well, the future for Grand Graphics, um, as I mentioned earlier, is expanding to the different services. Right. Not only what we have there, but as I mentioned, with the direct to garment printing, um, the sublimation printing, printing press, label printing. That is the future for Grand Graphics, right? And in the ways in which we can see, or I can see, that we could help or assist in Grenada how to move forward, is that once we have those services locally, right, we already eliminate what you're looking at: shipping, duties, concessions, or duties, sorry, that you bring in, fees that to bring in. You now bring in what could get locally what it is you want to bring in, without the hassle of having to finally ship and everything. And one thing I had to also add, something that I should have said earlier, is that I had to get people idea that not we could produce a lot of good things in Grenada, right? Everybody has the idea that everything had to come outside for it to be good from outside. No, we've produced a lot of good things. We've done things that people say that, oh, we can't get it outside there. So we have to look at Grenada as a production, and people in Grenada doing what we want to do to produce better things, making cost better, for people to have it more accessible to them. So some customers might feel, oh, I can wrap a vehicle because it's $10,000, But once we as an entity reached a position where we could go to government and say, look, we need this to drop because we need to make it. And when we at that level, big level, we could probably have some weight so the government could say, okay, yeah, we're gonna bring down that, so we could afford for customers to have it for less, you know.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Thank you. And looking at it, I almost take my glasses off because I say, well, you make me see now.
Yeah.
Because I am speaking for men, like if you know David Ambrose in Tam CC, he's an old GBSS boy, but they are always Grenadian published authors and so on. They're
Right.
always, they're writing books and publishing books and so on. So I want you to put that, I'm saying it here loud for them to hear too. I want you to put that, bring it a little forward, bring it a little forward so that we, the
So
author,
in the 5-year plans, bring it forward.
bring it a little forward, so we could get our books, because there are some people who like books in hand,
Yeah,
and the published authors, they like their book in the hand. So think of where you could push something, talk to whoever you have to talk to, and talk to yourself and say, look, I have to make an adjustment here. That's a plea. So see what you could do for them.
Well, I will most definitely look at it, because I'll be honest with you, I never thought to the level of authors yet, I more looked at it from the book reports for big companies like the banks, that every year they want to publish those for their shareholders and stuff like that, but I never looked at it as a book writer wanting to publish a book locally, so I would probably sit down, and have my general meeting with myself. That is the best, that is the most important. Every business have the shareholders business general meeting. I just have my general meeting with myself, my snacks, my bottle, and sit down and discuss it with myself. So I'll put that as an agenda item for my next general meeting with myself.
Excellent. So that's it going forward. And so in a few words, because we're closing now, I don't want to keep you longer than that. In a few words, I want you to reach out to whoever you connect to and who have been connected to you. And for the persons who missed this but might be going back to look at it, what do you say as the creative designer, artist, businessman, draftsman, architect? What do you say in the aura of the energy that you throw out in the world? What would you say?
All right.
Your closing remark.
Well, anything can be done. You could be anybody once you put your mind to it. You can be hands-on. You can create something. You could fabricate something. You could be working with your mind. That's a heavy job sometimes too. So don't keep yourself back. Don't hold yourself. With what you want to do. Move forward. Speak to people. Because there's sometimes you want to talk to somebody. You have an idea. You want to talk to somebody. Although a lot of people feel to think that or think that when they give the idea, somebody would take it. Yes, it happens, but don't give everything. Just speak to somebody, get some views, get ideas. Like a mini market research, and go forward with your plans. Get it out there, get it done. Do what is in your mind and heart, and once you do that, I don't think there's anything that would be able to stop you as a person reaching your goals.
Great. And we can ask for more, but this was a lot of food from your angle. Reaching out there. We thank everybody who was listening, and you kind of give me an idea of the journey in the field.
Yeah.
I asked you to say what's going on. You kind of give me an idea of the journey in the field. And I didn't want you to go because I tell you to close, but the field is an easy road. That's your closing comment? The field that you're in, it's an easy road.
No, it's not. It's not an easy road. It's a nice road. They say the paved the road to heaven is paved with all kind of things, and the one to hell is paved with gold. It's you to choose. But my field, this industry, this business that we're in is not easy. It's not easy. But It is workable, it is doable, you could conquer it, right? Just don't give up. Stick to it.
Excellent. Excellent. And on that note, if you have anything else to say, you're free to say it, because we're going to close here and thank everybody for having this young grandmaster who is making waves in Grenada. You know, he's a magician in his field. Oh, not magic, magician in his field. So
Yeah.
I put you on the screen. That's your final closing words, and that's it.
Right. Well, first of all, thank you. I want to thank you for you know, I was in two minds of doing this, but it's really brought me out, and I'm happy that I did it. So I want to thank you for inviting me to doing this. And then my staff, I want to thank my staff. You know, without them, I couldn't do it. And thank God and everybody else, you know, and just let's keep going forward with what we want to do. So thanks again for having me.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grandmaster himself is taking his leave, and we want to thank you, everybody, for following us here as we do it here. We meet the artists, the creative artists, the specialists, the people who touch all fields in the arts. And, you know, for me, I see Grenada has the great potential that we need, and we need to explore it. We have people who are not afraid of jumping, leaping, leapfrogging. You call it however you want it. But we thank you for the value, brother Sam. We thank you for that value. And of course, that inspiration that you showed in. So, again, guys, you say you have to make it. We're bound to make it. And that's why I would leave you with this artist, because he has done his part.
If it's one thing I'm most grateful for, it's life. Knowing where I came from and knowing where I'm at today. The simple things in life that matters. Most time people take life for granted, but gratitude is a must.
Now, yes. Protect I and I from the trap set for me. Into your hands I submit my spirit. Almighty, deliver me. Yes, deliver me. Cause despite the struggles and fight, I smile, everything is alright. I say, thanks for life, Almighty God. Thanks for